Hello there ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Whether you're a veteran, a casual, or you've never played World of Warcraft before, today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you should come back or start playing in Shadowlands. Number 1. The new starting zone. When first jumping into WoW, it can be overwhelming with the amount of things going on. Depending on what character you start, you could be at different points in the game's life. For example, if you pick a human or an orc, you'll start off by completing classic quests. If you pick a worgen or goblin, you'll be in the Cataclysm era. And God forbid, if you pick a panda, you'll be thrown into Missa Pandaria. And after you've completed these starting zones, you'll be thrown right back at the beginning again. Unlike Classic, there isn't really a progression to getting your spells. You'll gain a few whilst you level up, but you won't fully understand what they do and why you have them. However, with the new starting zone, this isn't a problem. In Shadowlands, when you create a new character, you'll start off in Exile's Reach, a new zone with a small story surrounding an ogre, necromancer and his dragon. You'll learn all the basics of your class, with an actual reason for them. For example, if you play a warlock, when you learn to summon a Voidwalker in current retail, you reach level 20 and it just appears in your spellbook. In Shadowlands, however, you will follow a quest which shows you how to summon a Voidwalker, giving meaning to learning the spell and allowing you to summon it again in future fights. This adds a little bit more of progression of your character, boosting that immersion. It will also show you the basics of the game itself, showing you how to enter instance groups for dungeons, with its own dungeon at the end of the story of Exile's Reach. Number 2. The lore. Now, if you're anything like me, in Battle for Azeroth, and you've watched other videos of mine, you'll know that the lore for me hasn't really been that interesting. I've kind of gotten fed up with all of the Titan stuff now, and thought that Battle for Azeroth might have been giving that part of the lore a break, with the story really focusing on the faction war. Well, that's what I was hoping for when they announced PFA. Unfortunately, it didn't really feel like this. Yes, we had the war campaign and the Battle of Dazara lore, but even though I wouldn't say that this was an old god expansion, it did really feel like it was leaning that way. N'Zoth, G'huun, Ashara, it didn't really seem like the Horde versus the Alliance. If I was to mention something I was happy about, it would be the breadcrumbs to Sylvanas' story. It looks like her story and everything that has happened to her prior to BFA, including her being chosen by Vol'jin at the start of a Legion to become War Chief, is going to be explained in Shadowlands, which I've personally been waiting for the last 3 years. We've also got a list of lots of new characters to meet, and things to learn about, that we've only really heard myths about in the past. You've got to remember that most of our information and our facts come from the Titans. And we've learnt in the past that the Titans don't know everything, so the chance to learn something new is always exciting. Not only will we be meeting new characters like the Jailer and the Winter Queen, we'll also be catching up with old friends and old enemies in the forms of Uther and Kael'thas, which will probably merely just be another setback. I'm finding it hard to stop myself from taking too much of a look into the articles on Wowhead because I don't want to spoil things, but, and you can quote me on this, I think this expansion is going to be a big one for us people who are interested by the lore. Number 3. Class changes. There is no doubt in my head that people weren't really excited about their classes in BFA compared to the changes in Legion. I think this is where Azerite armor was supposed to flourish, but unfortunately it failed miserably. However, the changes coming or returning in Shadowlands looks to be actually very positive. Seeing some old skills like Curses for the Warlocks or Eyes of the Beast for the Hunter, or the one I'm really looking forward to, Wind Fury Totem, on the Enhancement Shaman. I've longed for the Enhancement Shaman to be good again, and this might be it. For the most part, it seems to be either that your class hasn't changed from being okay, or your class has been improved upon. Obviously, Shadowlands is still in alpha, and even more changes are bound to come at some point, but it does really feel like your class will have some sort of uniqueness back. This is where I think they've really used some of the things that people have enjoyed in Classic and brought them back with a fresh look in Shadowlands, which, I have to hand it to them, is some good play from the guys over there at Blizzard. Number 4. Collectibles. Now, this is obviously a big range of things, but I just have to say, it's looking great. Whether it's mounts, armor pieces, or even Pokemon, I mean battle pets, you collectors are going to have a good time. It does seem at the moment that the male wearers have taken a hit, but what's new? We're used to that. I would really recommend taking a look at some of these models and items on Wowhead because they've really blown me away, at the mounts especially. The visuals in the expansion are really making me think more about, do I want to deal more damage whilst killing things, or do I want to look cooler while doing it? Wowhead have really focused on the Covenant pieces, but we still have raid sets, rare spawns, and mounts that we haven't seen. Once again, as always, the art team at Blizzard, we thought you couldn't get any better, and they've done it again. This is the reason that I don't mind paying for the new expansions, even just for the art. Number 5. PvP might actually be good again. We all know that PvP wasn't great in PFA. It actually hasn't been good for a long time, and I'm not even really a PvPer. But in Shadowlands, it might change, and I think I might actually start doing it. The return of PvP vendors is a welcome sight for most of the PvP community, as a chest once a week didn't really work for that type of content. I think most of the PvP community think that the WoW devs think of them after the PvE players, but it looks like that might change in Shadowlands. One of the things that has made Classic interesting is the PvP. And I think that the penny has dropped for the devs that they need to make some new changes in how that type of gameplay works. Allowing the player to work towards something they actually want. Just like raiders kill a certain boss to get a certain piece, PvPers can work towards a type of currency to buy the piece that will improve their gameplay, rather than just being disappointed each week as they get braces for the 4th time in a row. And that was my 5 reasons of why you should come back or start to play WoW in Shadowlands. There are so many other reasons why you should come back, but I think that this expansion is going to be a good one. Again, it's nice to see Blizzard using the information about their other games, about what works well and what people like in their upcoming games. Let me know in the comments section below if you're going to be playing Shadowlands, or let me know why you're not thinking about playing it and what could they do to pique your interest. One thing for me, it would be set classes. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in another video.